Hi guys, what's up? I hope everybody is doing good. Your preparations have gone well. This is a very important video in terms of your finality to your preparation. Many of you must have, watched the marathon, prepared well, everything is fine. But when it comes to writing, the last and most important game in the entire CA exam story is about how to present answers in the exam. Some of you might have already written the exams in the past and may have not qualified. One of the reasons for that could also be your presentation, which I have personally seen many students undergo that issue. And for first timers, this video is a must. You should exactly know what points to take care of in auditing and strategic management. Let me give you a comprehensive idea because it is important for you to know what you are doing. Is it enough when you are supposed to get the actual marks? Because most of us, we focus on getting the content right. Of course, after getting the content right also, it is sometimes becoming very difficult for people to score the marks. So this video, watch it completely. I have even picked up some examples and kept. So watch it through, and I will try and keep it as short as possible so that you can make the most out of it, right? So let us start by understanding some of the general point that I'm going to give now. First, I'm going to talk about generally when you're writing audit or strategic management. Always point number one or rule number one, which I always tell you, is use headings, subheadings, and write only in bullet points. Don't write lengthy paragraphs, right? Proper headings, subheadings, if at all anything has to take care of being written in internal paragraph, should have a heading, something like that, right? So headings, subheadings, and most importantly, points, right? No lengthy paragraphs. I am marking very clearly. Some places where you prefer that you have to write in small paras, you can do that, but lengthy paragraph, the entire content in one answer, is not a right approach. Then point number two, which is a very 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 again significant and important thing, is structure of your answer. Structure of an answer. There is no particular, what do you say, way of writing a question in the exam. Each question may have a different approach to write the answer, so you cannot generalize the content inside an answer, but what you can generalize the structure, right? Sometimes when the question is asking you for a definition, you might go with a definition. Okay, if it is not asking, don't write. Just to, like if it's only one line or a two-line definition, you want to fit in very quickly, do that. But don't spend time in writing half a page definition which is not going to add value to the answer. Be focused on the point wise marking is only there in the exam. So yeah, definitions wherever needed, start the answer with that. Then definition is followed by the main explanation. There is no substitute to the story. The explanation has to be crisp, clear, in points. For example, if they ask you a question on value chain analysis, primary activities, support activities. What are primary activities? Are they asking only that? Are they asking both? Depending on the marks and the content, you have to choose. Say if they ask you to write about written representation. What is a written representation? The definition, one line. Written representation is a written statement provided by the management to the auditor in support of the one, two lines about its definition followed by the explanation. Then come to the main content wherein you talk about the relevance. Because why I want you to follow this pattern is you can knock off those things. Now, like say for example, you don't have to write a definition. Leave that point. Straight get into the explanation. No, they're asking a straight pinpointed case. Relevance or case, facts, whatever that story, you got to kick that up and then finally close it with a conclusion. Now, this closure, you need not put a heading called as conclusion, side heading called conclusion. This is not needed. In audit, strategic management, generally, you just have to close the answer the proper. Now, strategic management, many answers end by themselves, right? Like say if you write inbound logistics, manufacturing, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and service. Fifth point in value chain is done. So put a full stop. These above 5 points are the primary, not necessary. That some people forcefully give a closure, not needed. Closure, right? Only when required. This generally is the situation in audit. where you will see that therefore, C and co did something correctly, therefore auditor Mr. A is right, therefore he is wrong, whatever you want to say, therefore he collected a determination, it is valid, therefore it is not valid. That final one line of a conclusion, right? This is the main point that I want all of you to follow. Don't put a side heading called definition, side heading called explanation, not required. Just in your flow or the structure of the answer, the reader will themselves understand this. Okay, then this third point, I am talking about something which is optional. Sir, why are you giving this optional? Because some people prefer doing it, some people don't. So I don't really force anybody here. But if really required, this optional point number 3 is underline keywords. Same pen, no need to change, underline, highlight, nothing. Just anything you want to underline, which you want to highlight, that's all. And try, as I told you here, no paragraphs means I'm just going to say that long blocks of text. That is what I mean. Okay, don't use long blocks of text, write one full content of a paragraph into one place, and then it will make it look clumsy. That's all. So these are very important points, and very very important note that I want to uh, try maximum to stick to ICAI language. Okay, ICAI words or language. I am not saying if you write on your own, they will not give. You write on your own, no problem. Sentence framing absolutely can be on your own. If you have heard me the last 6 minutes, this is a very wonderful, important tip that I always tell. Write the sentence on your own, no problem. Don't change the keywords. That's a very important thing. Okay. Say, for example, they're asking inherent limitations in audit. Say, for example, one of the inherent limitations of audit is about the test checking or sampling. Don't change that. Don't write something else. The auditor will check partially. Don't change the. So you can word the entire paragraph in your own language, neatly fit in. A little bit of grammar here and there should not be a problem, unless you're making big grammatical mistakes, where sometimes and or also makes a lot of difference. Other than that, it is absolutely fantastic. And only 2 or 3 points in a particular answer, write them, right? In my personal understanding, no, anything is better than 0. Okay, so in a CA exam, because you get 39, and maybe you would have written a half answer correctly, it would have help you touch 40. So don't take a chance, and just for the sake of filling space, don't fill some nonsense. There's a very important thing that you should keep in mind, right? So and also, two things, these are again additional tips. Main points are this, the first and second one. Third one is an optional but a very important point, and this note is a mindfully compulsory thing. So this is my first part of your broader understanding of what it is. Now, let me, just for additional clarity, I want to split or take a, kind of a example and let you understand, because I want all of you to know that, what I'm telling is based out of some logic, right? Relevance is there. Right? Let me show you something quickly, whereby this is one of the students' paper that came to me, right? The student has not scored great in this paper, but I want to just tell you something. See, if you see, they've asked one of the Caro clauses. Okay, so the Caro clause, neatly the clause 10 states about what student has written that, right? IPO, FPO money being used for some stated purpose, whether the money has been used for stated purpose or not. So they have told all that clearly. Then funds raised through the issue of private placement, section 42, 62, the points. So since they wrote both the points correctly, straight away they got 2 marks. So people who are valuing will give you the marks. Sir, no, sir, nowadays there is a lot of hue and cry about something. Okay, that may not happen with everybody. Right? Now, this is something very important. Alongside this, if you see, they said, however, the company has utilized the funds with something and all of that, and then you can see that this is the conclusion. Now, this is one of my students. So I again told, not necessary that you have to keep a heading like this. If you keep also, no harm. But for what they wrote, they got the marks that were relevant for that answer. Now, in the next one, I will also tell you the negative side. Wrote facts of the case, provisions, condition, again here also conclusion. So they've done, but ultimately ended up getting 0. Whatever be the issue. Why? Because no matter the structure of the answer as told, okay, see, they got only 20 out of, or 19 out of 70. Right? So the point is, I am not here to divulge or understand, make the point that I'm trying. Again, in the next answer, points are, again, 2 marks given. So one more additional mark given, so totally 3. So point is, if you are writing well, you will get the marks. I don't want you to miss on that particular point. So the reason why I showed you that is not like this. I have seen some other papers, yeah, one odd paper where students have written well, they might have not gotten the marks. And one more thing in audit, avoid vague language. Right? In audit, I'm writing this for your understanding, especially in audit. Do not, right, I'm being very specific on this, do not use vague language. Right? Maybe, right, or could be, in my opinion. So these are not something, this a big no, this is something that you have to definitely avoid. Right? Nobody's asking your opinions. Auditor may do so, auditor could have done like that, auditor should have. So in this, according to the case, use the language properly. Don't use, like conditional aspects and all of that. Okay. And when it comes to strategic management, follow a simple pattern. Okay. I would, additionally, I'm giving you this tip for SM. Right? SM, again, you can follow the same logic, but instead of definition, I'll say concept. And after, once you explain the concept should be followed, obviously, definition, concept, whatever that is, and then explanation. This is the flow for SM: concept followed by explanation. Then, if needed, if asked, if it's told there, give a example. Forcefully, it is not required, but if you feel that you can fit in an example from the textbook, and you can give so. And finally, in some of the SM questions where they are asking the case kind of a situation, like so and so person did like this. There's one question: Gautam did like this, Siddharth did like this. What is it? So what is the final conclusion? What is the impact? There in audit we called it conclusion, here you can call it as impact. So this would be a very workable framework for strategic management. So that should help you, and really, do you have to draw? Yeah, additional tip for strategic management is, in questions like BCG or ANSOF, etc., ADL type of matrix, draw. Right? Strategy, group mapping, but you don't have to become a precise artist about drawing something and all that. Show some maturity over there. Right? Behave like a professional. Just make sure that 5 forces are there. Don't take some equipment and draw circles and all that. One box in the center, 5 arrows. Just what are the 5 forces? That also would do. Sir, if I don't do that, what will happen? If you do it, it adds value. If you don't do that, maybe you're not at loss, but somehow doesn't give the completeness to the answer. Right? So all it takes is about an extra minute. So you don't, like I said, don't use artistic skills and all that. So just show a little maturity. You're telling the paper evaluator that, look, I just didn't come here to write something, I know what I'm doing. Okay. And then one very important, very very important point, though it is towards the end of this, but I'm still giving you that, very very important. Do not copy content from question. Do not copy content from question as it is. Okay. Take its relevance, no problem. But some people know blindly they copy with no gap, and as it is they copy. That is a very very weird and bad practice. Don't do that. Okay. Manage the time properly. And when it comes to SM, FM paper, people have asked this question, sir, which one should I do first? Always do whichever the ones you are comfortable with. Right? And I think I don't want, like I said, I want to keep it up to a time of 15 minutes. So I think we are reaching there. So I hope I've conveyed whatever I want to tell. Keep in mind, and make sure that you use these tips to get the best out of it. Again, a lot of people have asked only one question about, sir, what about ICA's evaluation? ICA evaluation, you leave that to them. You do your best, and I hope you will be rewarded what you deserve. Okay. So guys, I am as the exams are scheduled to start, I'm wishing you all the very best, and I will see you soon in paper review videos. Thank guys.